Welcome to the 28th election in American history.
It was held on Tuesday, November 3rd, 1896. The non-consecutive second term of President Cleveland was an unlucky one. Just a few weeks after inauguration, the collapse of three major employers occurred, leading to the Panic of 1893, a major economic depression in American history, and many would blame Cleveland. Because of this, Coxey's Army, a big protest in D.C., happened. Led by activist Jacob Coxey, they marched to Washington during the worst economic depression at that time to demand better opportunities for the unemployed and for there to be more economic help. And this became the first major protest in Washington, D.C. A few weeks later, the Pullman strike in Chicago occurred, headed by strike leader Eugene Debs. The strike occurred due to wage cuts, leading to strikes stopping railroad traffic nationwide, which shocked the nation. This was so damaging that President Cleveland was forced to call on federal troops to end the strike. Meanwhile, outside of the United States, the Britain and Venezuela-Guyana border crisis in South America arose. The U.S. arbitrated the affair between nations, calling in the Monroe Doctrine. This ended with Britain's win and established Americans' power over affairs in the region. Apart from all this, Cleveland showed his opinion over the annexation of Hawaii. And in the end, after the planters' uprising, Cleveland recognized them, but refused to annex Hawaii into the U.S.
And for a major Supreme Court case, Plessy v. Ferguson occurred, which upheld segregation under the separate but equal law, and this was another major blow to the rights of African Americans. For the conventions, the Republican Party held their national convention in St. Louis, Missouri, with the main Republican nominee for president being former Ohio Governor William McKinley, while for vice president, the main nominees were New Jersey Senate President Garrett Hobart. Another nominee was former Representative from Tennessee Henry Clay Evans. At last, the convention chose McKinley and Hobart for the Republican ticket. Meanwhile, the economic recession had changed American politics forever. With the Free Silver movement finding a new home, the Democratic National Convention held its meeting in Chicago, with civil rights now in control, and they copied a lot of the ideas from the populist and pro-silver parties. Their nominee for president was charismatic former representative from Nebraska, William Jennings Bryan, alongside former representative from Missouri, Richard Parks Bland, while for vice president, the main nominees were wealthy businessman from Maine, Arthur Sewall, alongside Washington Post owner from Ohio, John Roll McLean. The convention picked Bryan with thunderous applause after his iconic Cross of Gold speech, pairing him with establishment liked Arthur Sewall. The Silver and People's Party also nominated Bryan for a fusion ticket, with the Populists pairing Bryan with former Representative Thomas E. Watson. Furthermore, the pro-gold Democrats nominated Illinois Senator John Palmer for president, with Simon Bolivar Bugner from Kentucky as his running mate. Lastly, the Prohibitionists nominated prominent Baptist Joshua Lebring, pairing him with former Newton mayor from Illinois, Hale Johnson. The campaign trail mainly focused between both candidates and the economy. Republicans showed McKinley as a safe choice and amassed a big war chest, with him making speeches from the front porch of his house, while Bryan focused on free silver, the decisive border and western states, and charismatically talking to voters face to face. And the winner was William McKinley won, becoming the 25th president in American history. McKinley won with 271 electoral votes, with 51.03% of the vote, and Garrett Hobart became the 24th vice president in American history. William Jennings Bryan got a respectable 176 electoral votes, with 46.70% of the vote. The pro-gold National Democrats and Palmer got 0.97%. Lastly, the Prohibition Party and Levering got 0.94%. This election showed the candidate of the Western farmer going against the candidate of the city man.
In the Senate, the Republicans won, winning 44 out of the 90 seats, 2 below the threshold. For the House, the Republicans won here, winning 203 seats, 24 over the threshold. Thomas Brackett Reed, a Northern Republican from Maine, again became the 32nd Speaker of the House.
McKinley took his oath of office on Thursday, March 4th, 1897. McKinley spoke about rebuilding the economy and backing the gold standard, discouraging the lynchings against African Americans in the South, stating for the wounds to be healed between the North and the South, and for there to be unity at last. The future and recovery of America was looking brighter, with the rebirth of the economy on the horizon, and thus the 28th election in American history came to an end. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video.